Have you ever woken up in the dead of night to a sound that felt too personal, too knowing, like it was meant just for you, pulling at secrets you'd buried deep, whispering truths you thought were locked away forever, urging you to listen before it's too late? Chapter 1. The Whistling Visitor. Eleanor Hayes lived alone in her old Victorian house on the edge of town, where the wind often whispered through the cracks in the walls. She was 65, a retired librarian who spent her days sorting faded books and sipping tea by the window. Nights were quiet until they weren't. One autumn evening, as the clock struck midnight, she settled into bed with a sigh, pulling the quilt up to her chin. Sleep came easy at first, but at exactly 3 a.m, a soft whistle drifted in from outside. It started faint, like a distant bird call, but soon grew clearer, a melody she recognized from her childhood, the kind her mother hummed while baking pies. Eleanor sat up, heart pounding, and listened. The tune looped, cheerful yet eerie in the silence. She told herself it was the wind playing tricks, maybe branches scraping the glass. But the next night, at 3 again, the whistling returned, closer this time, right below her bedroom window. Curiosity mixed with unease as she peered out, seeing nothing but shadows in the garden. The melody tugged at her memories, reminding her of sunny afternoons long gone. Eleanor shook her head and went back to bed, but sleep evaded her. Days passed and she noticed small changes, like a chair moved slightly or a book opened to a page she hadn't touched. She blamed age, her mind playing games, yet the whistling persisted, always at 3, pulling her from dreams. One stormy night, when rain pelted the roof like angry fingers, the whistle cut through the noise, unmuffled and bold. Eleanor clutched her robe and crept downstairs, flashlight in hand. The sound shifted, no longer outside, but echoing from the attic stairs. Her breath caught, for the attic held trunks of her late husband's belongings, dusty relics she avoided. The melody beckoned, almost inviting, and against her better judgment, she climbed the creaky steps. Up there, amid cobwebs and forgotten boxes, the whistling swelled, filling the air like a presence. Eleanor followed it to an old trunk, its lock rusted but open. Inside, yellowed letters spilled out, written in her husband's hand, confessing an affair from decades ago, a secret child who died young. Her hands trembled as she read, tears blurring the ink. The whistle softened, shaping into words, "Forgive me, Mother," in a boy's voice she imagined but felt real. Panic surged through her as a translucent figure appeared in the corner, a young boy with her eyes, whistling the tune with sad lips. He reached out, his form flickering like candlelight, and Eleanor stumbled back, heart racing. The boy whispered of loneliness, of being forgotten in the shadows of her grief. She fled downstairs, slamming the attic door, but the whistling followed, now inside the house walls, vibrating through the floors. From then on, every 3 a.m. became a vigil. Eleanor tried ignoring it, stuffing cotton in her ears, but the melody pierced through, revealing more secrets, like how her husband had hidden the child's photo in her favorite book. She confronted the ghost one night, standing firm in the attic, demanding peace. The boy appeared again, his face pale and pleading, explaining he was the son she never knew, trapped by unspoken regrets. As dawn broke that time, the whistling faded, but not before leaving footprints in the dust, small and bare, leading to her bedroom mirror. Eleanor stared at her reflection, and for a split second it whistled back, her own lips moving without sound. She gasped, realizing the visitor wasn't leaving, it was merging, becoming part of her. Nights blurred into endless melodies, and Eleanor wandered the house, humming the tune herself, lost in the echoes of what could have been. Whispers from neighbors spoke of seeing her at the window at 3,
whistling to the empty garden. But Eleanor no longer cared, for the boy was home now, in her thoughts, in her voice. The house grew colder, the tune eternal, binding her to the past she could never escape. And in the quiet hours, she wondered if forgiveness was enough, or if the whistling would claim her forever. The melody lingered in her mind during daylight, a constant companion that made simple tasks feel haunted. She avoided mirrors, fearing the boy's eyes staring back. Friends called, worried about her isolation, but Eleanor brushed them off, saying she was fine. Deep down, she knew the visitor had rooted itself, feeding on her guilt. One final night, she sat in the attic, letters scattered around, and whistled along, inviting the end. The boy materialized fully, solid for a moment, and hugged her, cold arms wrapping tight. Eleanor felt peace wash over her, the secrets dissolving like mist. But as morning came, the house stood silent, her body slumped in the trunk, a faint smile on her lips. The whistling stopped for good, or so the town thought, until new owners moved in and heard it at 3, wondering who the visitor sought next. Chapter 2. The Doorway Watcher. Alex Rivera worked the graveyard shift as a paramedic in bustling Las Vegas, where nights blurred into chaos of lights and sirens. At 32, with tired eyes and a quick smile, Alex thrived on the adrenaline, saving lives under neon glows. But one humid summer night in 2018, at exactly 3 in the morning, the call came in frantic, an overdose at a downtown club, VIP lounge packed with partygoers. Alex and their partner rushed in, stretcher ready, weaving through pulsing music and sweaty bodies. The victim, Marcus Hale, a sharp-dressed real estate agent in his 40s, lay sprawled on a leather couch, foam at his mouth, eyes wild. Razor cuts crisscrossed his face, self-inflicted from the looks of it, blood trickling down. As Alex strapped him down, Marcus bolted upright, laughing maniacally, a sound that chilled the room despite the heat. The laughter echoed unnaturally, like it came from somewhere deep and hollow. Alex leaned in to check vitals, and Marcus's eyes locked on theirs, pupils dilated to black voids. In a raspy whisper, he said, "Alex, your sister misses you, the one with the scar from the bike fall." Alex froze, for no one knew about that childhood accident, not even close friends. Marcus cackled again, head lolling as they wheeled him out.
In the ambulance, sirens wailing, the clock hit 3:03, and Marcus's whispers turned prophetic, detailing Alex's hidden fears, like the guilt over a past failed rescue. The cuts on his face seemed to shift, forming patterns that looked like words, accusations. Alex's partner drove faster, unnerved, while Alex held the IV steady, pulse racing. Marcus sobbed then, tears mixing with blood, begging for release from the watcher in the doorway. Back at the hospital, doctors stabilized him, but Marcus woke with no memory, claiming a bad trip. Alex tried forgetting, but days later, identical razor marks appeared on their own arm, faint at first, then deepening. No blade in sight, yet the pain was real. Nights brought dreams of doorways opening at 3. Chapter 2. The Doorway Watcher. Alex Rivera navigated the neon-lit streets of Las Vegas as a paramedic on the graveyard shift, where every call felt like a roll of the dice. At 32, with a steady hand and a mind sharpened by years of emergencies, Alex found solace in the chaos, the beeps of monitors and the rush of saving lives. But on that fateful night in 2018, the clock ticked to 3 in the morning, and the ordinary shattered into something inexplicable. The dispatch crackled with urgency, an overdose in a swanky club downtown, VIP section overflowing with glitter and desperation. They burst through the doors with their partner, Mike, stretcher clanging against the frame. The air thumped with bass, bodies swaying like shadows. In the corner booth lay Marcus Hale,
a 40-something real estate mogul known around town for flashy deals and a hidden habit. His face was a mess of razor slashes, blood streaking his cheeks like war paint, eyes bulging as if seeing beyond the room. Alex knelt, checking for pulse, while Marcus thrashed weakly, laughing in bursts that echoed too deeply, unnaturally resonant. As they secured the straps, Marcus's head snapped toward Alex, his grin widening. In a voice gravelly and wrong, he whispered, "Alex, your sister Elena says hello, remembers the scar from that bike crash in '95. Alex's blood ran cold, for Elena had died young, the scar a secret etched in family lore, never shared outside. How could this stranger know? The laughter swelled, syncing with the club's fading music as they wheeled him out into the humid night. In the ambulance, sirens piercing the dark, the dashboard clock glowed 3:03. Marcus arched against the restraints, whispering more, prophecies laced with personal barbs, like the guilt Alex carried from a botched call last year where a kid didn't make it. "The Watcher sees it all," Marcus hissed, his cuts seeming to writhe, forming fleeting shapes that looked like eyes staring back. Mike floored the gas, muttering prayers under his breath, while Alex injected sedatives, hands shaking for the first time in years. At the ER, doctors swarmed, stabilizing the man with fluids and monitors. By morning, Marcus sat up, bewildered, claiming no recall beyond a few drinks. The cuts were bandaged, dismissed as self-harm in a haze. Alex clocked out, exhausted, chalking it up to drug-fueled delirium. But home in their small apartment, sleep brought nightmares of doorways cracking open at 3, shadowy figures peering through with razor smiles. Days blurred, and Alex noticed oddities, like doors left ajar when they swore they'd locked them. Then came the marks, faint lines on their forearm mirroring Marcus's slashes, appearing overnight without a trace of blood or pain at first. They deepened gradually, itching with an inner fire. Alex bandaged them, told no one, but the dreams intensified, doorways widening to reveal watchers whispering secrets. One evening, Alex dug into Marcus's background online, finding mundane details, successful salesman, no priors. But a late-night call to the club revealed more, the bouncer recalling Marcus muttering about doorways opening before collapsing. Unsettled, Alex visited Marcus at his upscale condo, hoping for closure. The man answered pale, inviting them in with hesitant eyes. Over coffee, Marcus confessed fragments returning, dreams of a presence slipping through cracks at 3, watching lives unfold like open books. "It knows everything," he said quietly, showing healed scars that still tingled. Alex revealed their own marks, and Marcus nodded grimly. "It's not done with us. The Watcher jumps doorways, feeds on secrets." That night, back at home, the clock hit 3, and Alex heard it, a soft creak from the bedroom door. They sat up, sweat beading, as the door inched open on its own. In the threshold stood a silhouette, tall and indistinct, eyes glinting like razors. It whispered Elena's name, then Alex's regrets, voice layering over Marcus's in their mind. Alex lunged for the light, but the figure dissolved into shadows, leaving the door wide. Panic set in, Alex barricading doors, sleeping with lights on, but the visits persisted. Each 3 brought the Watcher closer, revealing more, like hidden affairs or lies to friends. Mike noticed Alex's distraction at work, urging therapy, but Alex knew it was real. They tracked similar stories online, obscure forums of night workers haunted by doorway entities at witching hours. Desperation led Alex to a psychic in the old part of town, an elderly woman with cards and incense. She read the scars like tea leaves, warning of a spirit unbound by time, latching on to the vulnerable at 3, the veil's thinnest point. "Close the door in your mind," she advised, handing a charm. Alex clutched it, skeptical yet hopeful. Back at the apartment, as 3 approached, Alex prepared, charm in hand, staring at the door. It creaked open slowly, the Watcher materializing fuller, features sharpening into a twisted version of Elena's face, scarred and accusatory. "Why did you forget me?" it rasped, stepping forward. Alex shouted defiance, slamming the mental door shut, the charm glowing hot. The figure recoiled, dissolving with a wail that shook the walls. Silence fell, heavy and final. Marks on Alex's arm faded overnight, dreams quieting. Marcus called days later, relieved. His haunting ceased too. Alex quit the night shift, opting for days, but always locked doors thrice before bed. But in quiet moments, Alex wondered if the watcher truly left or merely waited behind another doorway, secrets biding time. The city lights flickered outside, and at 3, sometimes a faint creak echoed in memory, a reminder that some watchers never fully closed the door. Years passed, Alex building a new life, but whispers lingered in the wind. Friends shared similar tales, doorway glimpses at odd hours. Alex wrote it down anonymously online, warning others. The post went viral in niche circles, drawing replies of gratitude and fear. But deep down, Alex knew the truth. The watcher wasn't gone, it simply chose new doorways. One reunion night with Mike, over beers, the clock neared 3. A door in the bar creaked oddly, and Alex tensed, eyes darting. Nothing appeared, but the chill remained. "It's always watching," Alex murmured, and Mike nodded, understanding. Life moved on, but the hour of 3 forever carried a shadow, a doorway cracked just enough for secrets to slip through. In the end, Alex found peace in vigilance, teaching rookies about the night's hidden eyes. The scars were gone, but the lessons etched deep. Las Vegas sparkled on, oblivious, while doorways waited silently for the next watcher to peer in.